All right, all right. What's up? What's up? Yeah, it's Tuesday, November 4th. You know what I'm saying? Shit's fucked up.
Came from Ocean Beach where the waves still preach. Now he
Shout
sleeps
out
on the
to
steps,
my
freedom
man,
within reach. City
Matt,
council shook when he let that roar.
who created this
Y'all
nice
on
little
notice, echo
AI
through the
jam
chamber
for me.
floor. Locked down the coast, but his spirit ain't chained. Truth in his veins, liberty in his brain. No muzzle, no jab, no
Where's
corporate
the info?
leash. He baptized rebellion in the surf and the beach. Mask off, Viking beard, truth be the sword. Cut through lies of the media horde. From the sand to the streets, microphone ignite. Baker brought daylight into technocrat night. Slave to liberty stitched on his chest. Freedom's his fashion, he ain't dressed to impress. From San Diego, sparks flew to the nation. Viral vibration, righteous indignation. Infowars to Ohen in rotation. They call him crazy, he calls it salvation. White rabbit tunnels and digital chains. He exposed CBDCs in a global.
All right, all right. Well, there it is. Probably gonna put together a video for that. It's pretty sweet. I was pretty happy with that. If you've been watching Wars of the Info, Matt, homie of mine, been creating a lot of AI cool stuff for InfoWars, and he made that little jam for me. So thanks, brother. Well, it's been a while. I don't think I've done anything since before Halloween. Been dealing with Halloween weekend and stuff, and trick or treating and going out and recovering, and yeah, pretty cool. So basically, I think the number one story, and I only have a little time here today because I'm actually got to go off to work here, but the homeowner, I'm doing a little drywall painting on a bathroom. Homeowner isn't going to be home until 10:30, and they're right down the street. So I figure I'll slide on in here for a quick jam session with y'all. And I think the number one story for me is this so-called MAGA civil war, and make America great again. I don't know if it's really a MAGA civil war when we're arguing about another country. Like if it was like, if you don't accept Mexico, then you're not MAGA. If you don't accept Ireland, then you're not MAGA. If you don't, and it's like the people that are pro-Israel, like Adam King, awesome Jew, it's like they lose all credibility. They've become so like radicalized. Used to be fairly normal people, but now as this hype keeps hyping up, they just get worse and worse. And so it's like I look at his timeline, and he's like he's never criticized Netanyahu that I can see. You know, maybe ages ago. I know he used to, but he won't do it anymore. He says he criticizes him, but he won't criticize him on his page. He won't criticize any of the war tactics. He won't criticize anything. And it's like I voted for Trump, but if I look at Trump, the word Trump on my page, and there's actually a lot of criticism of Trump there, a lot of criticism of the war, a lot of criticism of Israel, a lot of criticism of everything. I mean, it's kind of our job to criticize these people when they fuck up. We can't just be pom-pom wavers, as Mark Levin. Mark Levin, they're pom-pom wavers. That's what he used to call the people that were pro-Trump, if you remember, because I used to listen to Savage back in those days, and Mark Levin was on after him in our local time slot. And Mark Levin would come on, and all the pom-pom girls, all waving the pom-poms from Donald Trump and the pom-pom, Ted Cruz, and the Constitution. But now all of a sudden, they don't really care about the Constitution, do they, Mr. Producer? Right? You got Mark Levin up there. You've got Randy Not So Fine. These people have lost the plot. They've completely lost the plot. Like here we were trying to have an argument over whether we should be controlled by Israel or not, or whether there's a genocide occurring, or whether the response to October 7th has been a little tiny bit extreme. Whether anyone in the last 100 years has completely bombed an entire area into absolute rubble. And then it's like, well, the terrorists are in the rubble. They're hiding under the rubble. Everyone's a terrorist. The Amalek. We must kill all of them. And anyway, so you already heard my Mark Levin impression. I was gonna tease it in, but actually, here's a video of Mark Levin. Apparently, he's got a problem with. Well, let's give it one more. I'll just wind it in a little bit longer here. Okay, so I was talking with Adam King yesterday. I've been to his house. He had me over for Shabbos. It's funny because he actually tried to get me to turn on his light because they're not allowed to turn lights on or flip switches on Shabbat ranking. And then that's how you actually become a Shabbos goy, is because you will do things for them. They're like, oh, I can't mow my lawn. I can't mow my lawn. It's Saturday. I'd really love to, but if you would do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. Would you turn the light switch on for me? My God will not allow me to turn the light switch on, but it will allow them to tell the goyim to turn the light switch on. Okay, it's pretty weird. Okay. So just instinctively, I was like, no, I'm cool. Cause it was like no TV, no music, no everything. I was over there having dinner with Adam King, awesome Jew that it turns out supposedly he has always been. But he's always complaining to me that he had no visibility. And he never mentioned to me that he was awesome Jew. So I thought it was funny when Lucas Gage said he was never really him, that he actually took over the account, because he never mentioned it to me. And supposedly we're friends. But, I don't know. He has got to run his secret operation, under everybody's noses. So I was trying to tell, he was on with Alex Jones yesterday. I actually called him. I was like, hey, get on with Alex and hold up your point of the argument here, because, Mark Levin is trying to go off about, Tucker Carlson. And he's basically, they're up there, Randy Fine, all these guys saying that he's the biggest anti-Semite in the world now, and that he's like literally Hitler. And personally, I think they are jumping the shark. They are not going to win this battle against Tucker. I just do not see it. So we'll see how it goes. But now everyone's doubling down, and now this it's amping up, and so now they want to have 5-year imprisonment if you dare say something against the chosen people. Okay, but it's not for anyone else. You can talk shit about America. You can talk shit about white people. You can talk shit about black people, Mexicans. You can talk shit about the American government, Donald Trump, the leader of the country. You can talk shit about anything you want. But then if you talk about the Jews, that's going to be 5 years in jail for you, buddy. And the thing is the more they try, it's like the sand through their fingers. The more they try to grasp it and clutch at this power and control, the more it's dripping through their fingers like wet sand on the beach. And so I don't know. I was talking to Adam. I'm trying to say, like, man, you guys got to chill the fuck out, dude. You need to be less radicalized. Every once in a while, maybe you could call out Netanyahu. Maybe we'd take you seriously. How about you stop telling us we can't have free speech in our own country? How about sitting up there? It's un-American. It's un-American. We gotta cut down on free speech. We have to do it for America. This is a MAGA. And MAGA is all about Israel. It's always been about Israel. Has it? I mean, maybe it was, but it certainly is not supposed to be make America great again. So, bye, babe. Girl's going off to dialysis again. And thought I'd get in here early. But anyway, I was on a roll. And so Tucker Carlson, he's now the biggest problem in the world, And I don't think this is going to work out very well. So just it's like every day now, they're just like, they've got to be shut down. They have to be stopped. And it's like people saying, oh, we run. Yeah, by the way, Frida's out here. I got her. So they got to go, dog. They got to go, she threw me off there. So they're like, oh, they're saying we run the government. They say that we run the media. And so to prove they don't run the media, Netanyahu buys TikTok. It's the front in our war. We have to take TikTok and we must control what they say. And then the people who are running Meta come out and go, we are controlling what you say because you cannot say this and you cannot say that. And we are sick of people saying that we control the media while simultaneously controlling the media. I mean, how blind and insane is this? Are we in some kind of weird video game simulation? It makes me wonder, when you look back in through history, how many times the Jewish people, the diaspora, have been kicked out of different countries. And it makes me wonder, is this some kind of inbuilt thing? like, like lions, when the lion cub is born, if the lion looks too strong, supposedly the older lion will kill that lion, because it's like it's going to come and attack it later on. It sees that it has too much strength, so it will like keep the weaker lions around. Or like, gazelles, they're out there, and so they have to, be the fastest gazelle. So it's like some kind of genetic disposition. Maybe it makes like them become more wily and conniving, because every 20, 30 years, every 100 years, they piss everybody off to the point that everyone's like, okay, get rid of these guys, round them up. And then they have to like connive and figure their way out of it. I don't know, because it's the self-fulfilling prophecy that every single time it's like, hey, you guys, you can't be doing that. What? That's anti-Semitic. This is like the Holocaust all over again. And then they start putting laws in, and then they start controlling people, and they start trying to shut down your free speech. And you're like, hey, this is bullshit. Why are you trying to control my free speech? And people like Adam King, he's like, oh, you used to be mad at Fauci. Why are you all about the Jews now? It's like, because they're the ones that are attacking us now. We cannot the only people trying to stop our free speech, the only people with like the omniscient AI grid going in, the people that are running literal AI kill grids on planet Earth right now, the people that are creating mRNA vaccines, the people that are, the number one thing is, stay the fuck off my free speech. Okay, bitch? So if you're trying to take my free speech away, so it used to be Fauci. Fauci's like, you can't say this. This is misinformation. And now it's not misinformation. Now it's hate speech. No, it's hate speech. And so now you can't speak because they told you. So that once they do that to you, then they become the enemy. Yeah. Stop trying to tell us what we can and can't say. And this is what they call the Streisand effect. Alex Jones was just talking about it yesterday with Adam King. Awesome Jew. And basically saying that the more you try and tell people to not say something, just like a kid, like, don't put your hand in the candy jar, don't do this when I leave the house, don't jump on the bed, the more they want to do it. So people like me, I was not even like anti-Jewish or anti-Israel or anti-anything. I would go on Stu Peters to talk about my wife, and her, a heart condition after getting a blood transfusion with vaccinated blood, where she ended up getting pericarditis. And he's like, it's the Jews. It's the Jews. And I'm just like, bro, I'm talking about my wife in the hospital right now, bro. But as time is going by, this clash is happening. I don't know if it's AI is doing it, making it bigger and faster, or if it's just, like I say, is this some kind of genetic or epigenetic historical like self-fulfilling loop that the Jews do to themselves. They create some bullshit. They fucking cause a big scene, like a war, or take over control of people's media and all these different things. And then it pisses people off. And then they go, oh my God, what are you guys doing? And so then they grip harder. And then people are like, get the fuck off me, bitch. And they're like, grip harder. Yeah, yeah. And then they grip harder and harder and harder. And then we're like, get the fuck off me. And then they cause this reaction. And it's like at the overreaction, and now trying to counsel Tucker Carlson. I don't know about you, bro. I don't think it's going to go over well. I just don't think it's going to go over. Let's hear what Mark Levin had to say about it. Let's get him up there. Mark Levin, Mr. Pelosi, pull up the clip, Mr. Pelosi. Mr. Pelosi. Let's hear what Mark Levin has to say about Tucker Carlson.
And Tucker Carlson, what is it with him and his beautiful hair and that beautiful jawline? And why does everybody love Tucker Carlson and not me? Why does Nick Fuentes have such a giant following? And why am I becoming irrelevant? And Tucker Carlson is not funny. And Tucker Carlson is not handsome. And soon, all of the underpants gnomes will rise. And Tucker Carlson.
So the underpants gnomes are gathering together at the Republican Jewish coalition, Republican Jewish coalition. And everybody's just railing on. And then they say, we're tearing MAGA apart. We're tearing Make America Great Again apart by not wanting to support Jewish wars or Jewish control. It doesn't make sense. So all you would have to say is, yeah, you're right. They're always saying we can do this by ourselves. We can do this by ourselves. We don't need you. We don't need you. Well, why don't you give it a try? Okay. Why don't you give it a fucking try for once? Why try? Well, how about not trying to control our entire politicians? How about not trying to control our entire media? How about having a problem like, oh, we're losing the information war. They're trying to say we run the media. Quick, buy up more media. Quick, tell them that they can't say on our media. That should solve the problem. I mean, is this a joke? Is this some kind of fucking joke? Am I being pranked? Am I being punked? Like, what world are we living in where these people don't figure out that the more you try to control and the more you try to shut it down? I don't know if it keeps going. I don't see any stop to this collision. It's like I was telling Adam King. I said, if people don't chill the fuck out, if you don't, at least, at the very least, stop trying to control our free speech. At the very least, stop trying to fucking cancel our number one people. It's not a fringe idea, okay? What Tucker's talking about. This is a majority idea. And now you have decided, like the king that tried to stop the ocean, you're going to stand in front of the ocean in your chair, and I command the ocean to stand there. I command, and you're just going to sit there until the waves crash over your head. Only now they're actually fomenting the ocean. Now they're pissing the ocean off. The ocean was going to come in fairly slowly, but now the ocean is getting more angry. Now the ocean is getting a little bit turbulent. Now you can see the white peaks on the top of the ocean, and the waves are blowing in, and there's a hurricane blowing. And as it happens, as it keeps going, they just keep adding and keep adding and keep adding and keep adding and keep adding to the fucking insanity. Stay the fuck off our free speech, bitch. Okay? Stay the fuck off of all of this shit. You can't say this or you'll lose your job. You can't criticize Israel, or you can't have a government contract, but you don't control the government. We don't control the government. We don't control the government. We don't control free speech, and we don't control the platforms. Quick, buy up the platforms. Quick, shut them down. Shut them down. We don't shut them down as a Jewish trope. Shut them down. It's like, what are you guys doing, man? I don't want this fucking bullshit. Why don't you get the fucking picture of what's going on and say to yourself, hey, maybe we should just tone it down a little bit. Maybe we don't try to threaten everybody that we're going to put them in 5 years, in jail for 5 years if they criticize us. How'd that work during COVID? They shut down everybody. They banned me. They banned Alex. They banned everybody that said the word hydroxychloroquine. Right? Did it work? No, just got people more and more pissed off, and more marches, and then the fucking trucker convoys, and then blah, blah, blah. And then it all ramped up. Where are we now? Now nobody trusts vaccines at all. Now people aren't vaccinating their dogs, like myself. You know, now people don't trust the medical industry at all. They've lost all trust. So why are we playing this game? Why must the psychosis enact? Why every time they get criticized, do they go to full nuclear warfare and be like, oh my God, they're going to put us in camps, and then like basically force people to do it? So I was telling Adam King, my friend, I was like, dude, you need to get less radical. Have you considered every once in a while saying that Benjamin Netanyahu might not be right? Have you considered every once in a while saying, maybe that religious tenet we have is a little weird? Have you considered every once in a while saying, yeah, I think we might be bombing too many people? But no, he's posting, it's all ours, pictures of all of Gaza, all of the left, all of the West Bank, all of the surrounding areas. It's all ours. It's all ours. And he's great. And he's just winding everybody up. And then why is everybody getting wound up? Why is everybody saying that we're trying to take their free speech away? Why is everyone saying we control the media? Buy up more media. This is insane. Okay. And so I made this little meme. I thought it was pretty funny. That this is them. This is them. Oh, by the way, yeah, the underpants gnomes. This is what Mark Levin used to be to me before. Now he's just become this raving lunatic. So you ever watch South Park, the underpants gnomes? The underpants gnomes. Step 1, create racial division. Step 3, cause a Holocaust. What's step 2? There is no step 2. What do you mean? Step 1, gather underpants. And then step 3 is make profit. The underpants gnomes never figured out what step 2 is. I don't know how many South Park fans we got out there, but me and my buddy Craig, we used to call him and Hannity because they'd be on the air and they're like, and they sound like the underpants gnomes. They sound just like the underpants gnomes. Work all day, work all night, work all underpants gnomes. So here's my little underpants gnomes for Mark Levin.
So where are they? They're nowhere. How about China? Nowhere. How about Russia? Nowhere. What happened to World War III? There is no World War III. They all sound like a bunch of Marxist Islamists. They don't sound like patriotic Americans. Let me be clear. This is good versus evil. You're either a patriotic American who's going to get behind the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, or you're not. One other thing. These little weasels in Congress like Tom Massey, the War Powers Act. And I'm a constitutionalist, he says, and I know the president's not, he can't do this on his own. Hey, Tommy, let me educate you about the Constitution. Is the War Powers Act in the Constitution?
Hey, Mark,
was
shut
in
the fuck up.
1973. Was the Constitution adopted
Mark,
in 1973, Tommy?
Go fucking collect your underpants, okay? No one wants to hear your bullshit telling people if we don't support Israel, or we don't support Israel wars, or if we don't support them taking over TikTok, if we don't support them buying off all the politicians, if we don't support them freaking shutting down, owning TikTok, if we don't support them jailing people if they criticize you, that's anti-Semitic. It's anti-Semitic. Okay, so there's that. I hope you had a little enjoyment. I put that little piece together. And let's see here. What else we got on this particular topic? Oh, here's a picture of the Jews trying to cancel Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson. That's like saying Laura Jumer. Okay. On live TV. There it is. There's the Fonzarelli. He's decided he's going to cancel Tucker Carlson. There we go. Oh, Grenade. We did it. And there's MAGA. This guy kind of reminds me of a redheaded Nick Fuentes. He's like, okay, dude. It was so funny when I was editing it together. He just happened to say this, which I never use that symbol, but I just thought it was so hilarious. So there he is, jumping the shark. I was just like, I said it. Alex Jones actually responded. I was like, dude, Mark Levin, these guys are jumping the shark with this. Like you've really gone too far. You think you're going to cancel? Like, what are they going to do? Cancel Trump next? No, because Trump's fucking sucks Netanyahu ballsack all day long. So it's becoming a problem. It's becoming a problem. I tried to avoid it. I didn't want to get into this. I didn't want to become an anti-Semite. But it's like, guys, why don't you lay the fuck off? Why don't you lay off? We don't tell you what to say. We don't tell you what to do. We don't control your government. So why don't you just lay the fuck off? We don't go in and buy up your media companies in your country. Right? So why don't you shut the fuck up, lay the fuck off, back the fuck down, and chill the fuck out? Because I told Adam King, I said, Adam, you know, buddy, pal, my friend, before you got radicalized, remember, we used to talk bad about Netanyahu. Do you remember that? He used to talk bad about the ADL. Do you remember that, buddy? But you don't see it anymore. He says he still thinks it. He says he still feels that way, but he will not post it because they've been radicalized. So they won't question their own people now. They've become one monolithic mindset. And so it's funny because, it used to be like the Jews. And it's like, I'd be like, oh, it's not all Jews and it's not this and that. It's like, but then Adam King, awesome Jews, on with Alex Jones yesterday. And he's like, yeah, we gave 100 million. Yeah, we gave. Miriam Adelson gave 100 million, whatever ridiculous number is. Like, yeah, you're welcome. That's what we gave. Like somehow he is responsible for giving money And then he's like, yeah, we're gonna kill all these people. We'll give you peace, but we will crush you. We. Who's we? He's not fighting. He's not fighting the war. Adam King did go over to steal someone's house and then got mad when he finally got kicked out of it. And he's crying because it's probably rubble now because his own people blew it up. But maybe he'll get a condo in Trump Gaza. Right? So why doesn't he go over and fight the war, seeing as he's such a big man? He can go back anytime he wants, right? But he won't. He sits here and he just pom-poms for fucking Netanyahu and all his little Jewish buddies. And then we are giving you money. We are committing the war. We are buying up TikTok. We are doing this. We are doing that. We have killed the red heifer. But then you say the Jews, and it's like, whoa. What do you mean? What do you mean the Jews? But yet you're responsible for everything as a group. It's weird, man. This shit's fucking weird. And I keep trying to get to it, but I keep getting sidetracked. If the Jews don't calm down with trying to shut us down and trying to capsulate us, it's like a nuclear bomb. They keep pressurizing and pressurizing and pressurizing and pressurizing and pressurizing and pressurizing. And eventually the thing's going to explode. Lay off. Because you're going to have one of two outcomes. You're going to have an omnipotent control grid, social credit score, Jewish state, basically in America, where if you say anything against them, if you say they'll dock your credit score, social credit score. They might have a drone come kill you like they do in Gaza, which they're doing right now, or they were doing before the ceasefire, before their own bomb exploded and they decided to unleash tons of explosives in Gaza because they thought maybe they got attacked. It's got to stop, guys. You need to chill out because you are bringing this on upon yourselves. You're winding yourselves up. Like I said, I don't know. Is this something that they do to themselves to cull off the herd? They're like, well, every 100 years, we just kill half of ourselves off by pissing everybody off. And then only the smartest ones survive. Only the most cunning ones survive. And then they should do this over time. And maybe this is their genetic, this is what they do. I don't know. But it doesn't make sense to me why they keep pushing this. Every time they try and shut us down, it just gets worse. So it's either going to end up in this technocratic Jewish state where you can't say a fucking word unless it's approved, or it's hate speech and you're in jail for 5 years and it's all tracked by their freaking algorithms on all the platforms they own. Or you're going to end up with the Nick Fuentes, someone more hardcore than Nick Fuentes, who's actually a full-on Hitler, who actually stands up for the white race and actually shuts all of this shit down. So you got two paths if you keep going down this road. You got either a Hitler, modern day Hitler with fucking all modern weapons, or you've got Jewish state. Or we can calm down. You guys can stop trying to oppress the white people. Stop trying to oppress people that are disagreeing with you and say, maybe we have made some mistakes. Maybe we shouldn't be just going out of control and buying up everything and trying to tell you guys what to do so much. Maybe we shouldn't be trying to control all of Congress all the time. Maybe everyone shouldn't have a handler. Maybe it's a little much. Maybe we've gone a little too far. Maybe we could just back it up a little bit, be happy with the progress we've made. Maybe come back at it a little later when everybody calms down, when there's something else to worry about. Maybe when we're all fighting AI. Maybe when the Three-Eye Atlas shows up and the aliens get out, or when the dome cracks and we get to go to the other side of the flat plane. But why don't you just chill for a little bit? Because right now, this is just crescendoing, and it's not getting better. This is getting worse by the day. And it's like the pro-Hitler, the pro-anti-Semitic, and then the Jews are like, fuck this, so everyone's got to shut up, be quiet, right? And just it's just getting worse. I don't want this conflict. I really don't. I would like to see Israel. I would like to see the Jews. I would like to see them look a little introspectively and say, let's police ourselves a little bit. Maybe Netanyahu's a little bit of a warmongering asshole. maybe the Likud party is trying to take over America and now run our politics, not just from the outside or not just with money, literally on TV going, we will shut you down. We will crush you if you oppose us. They're in charge. At least in their mind they are, and to a great extent, they actually physically are. And if this power struggle is just not going away, this sucks, man. Why don't you guys look back at yourselves? Tone it down a little bit. I'm not trying to stop you from talking. I'm not outlawing pro-Israel speech. I'm not trying to buy up your platforms. I'm not trying to buy up your country. I'm not trying to buy off your politicians. I'm not trying to say it's illegal to say anything, which it should be. Anybody who's in politics who's talking about shutting down the First Amendment, that's your job, is to protect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That's a form of treason to go against the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. But you're doing it at the behest of a foreign country, which is quite treasonous. And you're picking this fight with Tucker Carlson? And you don't think you've jumped the shark? You don't think this is going too far? You don't see a large group of Jewish people going, come on, guys, this is getting a little bit much. Hey, why don't we chill this out? Hey, Randy Fine, why don't you just shut the fuck up? No, he's the Hebrew Hammer. The Hebrew Hammer. They're like lording this guy. This fat piece of shit is trying to take away our constitutional rights. Fuck him. Fuck you, Randy Fine. Randy fucking fat ass piece of shit. Hebrew Hammer my ass. Anyone could stand up there and be like, we're going to shut you down. We're going to everybody. That's great. Very constructive. How do you think that's going to work out for you? Huh? Not good. You can't just fucking shut everyone down and cut everyone off all the time. Fucking sick of it. Anyway, I'm going to move on from this topic, but that is the main topic of the day. And it is a problem. Actually, now I've got another video here I got to show you. So there's Mark Levin, the underpants numbs. There's the Jews trying to counsel us. Let's see if we can find this fucking piece of shit right here. There we go. There he is. He's the Hebrew Hammer. He's putting it down, laying it down. Let's get rid of the First Amendment. Anybody who says anything, that's right. What a piece of shit, man. People lord this guy. The people that aren't putting this guy in his place,
that there is no
step down, shut up, fat ass. You are part of the problem. Okay? You are part of the problem. You're encouraging these people. This is like people encouraging Hitler, encouraging anyone, Stalin, encouraging Pol Pot. Like, yeah, do it. Shut it down, cut it off. Yeah, put him in jail. That's the thing that's giving us a problem. Remember, you live in America because we have a First Amendment, because of free speech, right? Hate speech. Hate speech is a made-up fucking word. And you get to decide what it is. It certainly isn't hating white people or hating the physical document that holds this country sacred, right? Hating on and destroying and undermining the physical First Amendment, number one amendment in the country. That's not hate speech. I think it is hate speech. I think you hate this country. I think you hate these people. I think you hate the documents that we worship. Those are our sacred documents. And you hate them.
There's no First Amendment right to conduct. There's a First Amendment right to speech. And the things that we're targeting in the bill are not speech. Again, if someone wants to stand across the street from my house and wave a sign on the sidewalk, they have every right to do that. And this bill won't have anything to do with that. But when it veers into conduct, and so the way we're going to approach this is through a hate crime kicker. So if you graffiti a building,
A hate crime kicker. It's a kicker. It's like a bonus at you get bonus points when you go to fucking Denny's or something. It's like, oh, you get the kicker. You get a free soda. Oh, you get a free 5 years in jail. If it's hate speech, and we'll be the ones to decide what hate speech is.
is a crime now. But if your motivation is hate, it will be a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years in prison. If you want to litter, it's a crime right now.
Motivate your motivation. So you now reading people's minds. So if you say something about the Holocaust because you don't happen to believe certain numbers, or because the people that are telling you about it are caught lying all the time, whether it's true or not, you can't question it. You can question anything else. You can question, the slave owners that control this country, or who really won the Civil War, or did we even win the battle, for our autonomy from England, or did really England own us lock, stock, and barrel before and after the war? You can argue about that, but you can't argue about this. And if you do, we're going to decide whether it's hate speech or not. We're going to be the ones to decide.
But if you litter and if your motivation is a hate crime,
if I call you a fat piece of shit, is that a hate crime?
It will be a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years in jail. It is a crime right now to hang banners from an interstate. For obvious reasons, we don't want to distract drivers.
For obvious reasons. Dude, how many banners have you seen hanging off fucking freeways? Has it ever been a problem? No. Fuck off.
If you do that and you have a hate crime, a hate motivation, it will be a third-degree felony. And again, I would remind you that there's no First Amendment right to conduct. There's a First Amendment right to speech, and the things that we're targeting.
Conduct. So you're deciding what the conduct is, are you? Yeah, of course you are. I don't know why it keeps going back. So there's that. Let's see what else we got on this one. Here's Ryan Matta. I mean, obviously you're following Ryan. He's just absolutely blowing up. Like, I think he's gained like 800. What is it? It's like 80,000 followers since Charlie Kirk. I mean, he's been definitely on the Charlie Kirk thing, but look at this. Ben Shapiro missed a few key things that American people would much rather say no to. Ben Shapiro, there's another one, another underpants gnome. Let's look. So anyway, Ryan's crushing it.
To Jewish oligarchy, America first, America forever. So I want to go to transpond on that. So I want to talk a little bit more about this Ben Shapiro video, and Nick Fuentes is fucking crushing it right here, and he's nailed quite a few. Now, Ben's video has got about 13.3 million views so far, and it says, no to the groypers, no to the cowards like Tucker Carlson who normalize their trash, no to those who champion them, no to demoralization, no to bigotry, and no to anti-meratic horseshit. And then Nick comes in with some heat and he says, no to Ben Shapiro, no to neocons, no to dual citizens, no to Benjamin Netanyahu, no to cancel culture, no to genocide and ethnic cleansing, no to the Antichrist hating Talmud, no to greater Israel, no to Jewish oligarchy, America first, America forever. So I want to go to transpond on that a little bit. We as the American people, number one, no to zero accountability, right? No to a government that serves itself and not these people. No to big pharma running ads on TV. No to bioweapon clot shots that are killing our children, right? No to porn on TV. No to OnlyFans, right? No to all of this demonic LGBTQ bullshit that's been force-fed down our throat. How about no to gay marriages? How about no to everything that goes against our Christian values here in America? How about no dual citizens serving in our fucking government? How about no dual citizens, period, ever having a role? How about no to dual citizens or Israelis who served in the fucking IDF having a fucking being able to work in any government organization at any level, in anywhere in our government, even a fucking bureaucratic level, right? How about no to a Federal Reserve and a government being able to spend more than they make? How about no to allowing members of Congress to work in our government without taking mandatory fucking hair follicle drug tests at random different companies that change monthly and that we actually vote on as the people, right? I don't want some fucking drug testing company that our government's just gonna fucking buy off and they're just gonna cheat their fucking drug test. No, I think we should go back to, how about no bureaucrats at any fucking executive level that aren't elected by the fucking people? Because just like we elect our fucking president, the person who should run for fucking being the director of the FBI should have to fucking run for that position, because we wouldn't be in this spot, right? We wouldn't have went from William Barr to fucking Chris Wray to now fucking Kash Patel. We actually probably would have went to Kash Patel. That's the scary part. But we should also be able to fucking fire these people. If they're not going to serve the American people, why don't we have a government that allows us to fire these motherfuckers? Why is it so hard? Why don't we have no to unlimited term limits? Fucking the governor of Texas, you know, Greg Abbott, do you know how hard it is going to be to anybody to dethrone that dude when he has a little billion-dollar fucking war chest? And anybody that's running against him, if they're not willing to denounce AIPAC and denounce fucking Israel, they ain't getting their fucking foot in the door, you know? And as much as I love Doc Pete Chambers, if he's not willing to go fucking hard and go after AIPAC and Israel and the fact that they control our fucking government, he's never going to fucking beat Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott has a billion-dollar war chest, and that dude's going to be a fucking king. So those are just some of the Ryan Matta knows to, because I'm so sick of this. The bioweapon clot shots, they try to fucking force us to fucking vaccinate our gosh damn children. They were willing to put a fucking deadly bioweapon into your children, and then they force mandated that clot shot on our fucking troops. Our members of Congress did. So how about we get some gosh damn accountability here? But Kash Patel is too busy jet setting around getting some ass with his fucking girlfriend or his side piece or his honey. No, not a honeypot. Don't call her that. That'll cut you a fucking lawsuit. But you guys where I'm going with this one. Nick was on a fucking roll, but I think he missed a fucking lot of key points there. Drop some below. What do you think we should be saying no to? But I don't agree with one gosh damn thing Ben Shapiro said. That's for fucking sure. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Peace.
Crushed it.
So I want to talk a little bit more about this Ben
that was
Shapiro
amazing.
video.
Really good job. How about just no to money in politics, period? Is that insane? Okay. And how do we do it? Because well, they're going to vote. These scumbags are going to vote that they're not going to get any more campaign finance. So here's what we got to do. It's got to be funded by the people, by the government. So we'll have a limit of maybe $100 per person, maybe $2. No PACs at all. Everything has to be individual monetary donations. And then we'll have a system. If you want to run for governor of California and you think you got a shot, you got to get, let's say, 1,000 signatures together in your local town, Ocean Beach. If I can get 1,000 signatures, then I can get on a stage and debate everyone in San Diego County that got 1,000 signatures. And then we'll sit there until somebody becomes a winner of that. We'll vote on it. We'll have it blockchain voting. We'll make sure it's or paper ballots, even better, you know, because blockchain, who knows what's going on with the algorithm? I'm not a mathematician, or I don't really understand those blockchains, but maybe they can be secured. Maybe it can be truly secure. But then whoever wins that will then win an amount of money from San Diego County to battle for Southern California. And then the Southern California people will all battle. And then whoever wins that round robin will then go for state. And if you want to become the president, it will then go from state to state, to the West Coast, to the Central. And then eventually we'll have 3 or 4 candidates. So each state, each area, each municipality will pay to get their guy in, with the idea and the understanding that having your guy from your town going in is going to help. And also it should be legally mandated. And all money, corporate money, foreign money, Qatar money, Israel money, China money, Microsoft money, Mira Madelson money, all of it completely outlawed. Now, how do these guys make money then? Well, here's what you do. You give them a percentage. You give them a percentage based on the happiness of their constituents. You give them a percentage based on whether the actual price of whether the actual gross domestic product has gone up. So if the gross domestic product goes up a little bit, then you as a senator, or you as a politician, whoever's in that thing that would normally be getting money from lobbyists, which should be completely outlawed, unless it's just somebody who wants to go in and say, hey man, have you noticed this is a problem? There should be no money involved in it. You could maybe pay a lobbyist yourself to take the time out of his day to go and explain the problem with farms in Iowa and how that's going to affect the voters and how you're going to make their life, harder if they don't get those voters in. But to give money directly to campaigns, like here's $100 million if you take care of this situation, here's $1 million for this, that should just be outlawed. Because we as the people, how can we have any effect? How can one man, one vote have an effect when the people who are actually voting, who are really getting the shit done, are voting with dollars in the millions and billions? And we're like giving $10 on a vote, and they're giving $100 million and paying for their campaigns to get trillions of all these votes and get all this money. and your next campaign, and don't worry, we're going to give you this deal, and oh, don't worry, we'll get this housing building going and you can become part of it, you can invest in it, or hey, we'll give you the tip that next week we're going to release this microchip and our stock's going to go through the fucking roof, so take all your money and put it in there, insider trading. So look, that money has to be completely taken out, and we need to incentivize these politicians to actually do a good job. So if the national debt goes down, whatever the number is that it goes down, you'll get a bonus. You'll get a percentage of that number. It could be 0.000001%, whatever it is, something that would make it a decent amount, like 100 grand, 200 grand a month, 200 grand, I mean, a year, or whatever the numbers that they're, the manner in which they've become accustomed. Make those numbers kind of similar, that the American people will give them an incentive. And if the national debt goes up and the gross domestic product goes down and the people hate you, then you'll get a baseline pay. That's it. You get $100,000 for showing up for the year. You know, maybe you get a discount. Maybe you actually get docked pay. Oh, you'll actually get money taken off of your salary if you really, really fuck up. But that's how it needs to be done. We got to get money in general, as a whole, totally and completely the fuck out of politics. Any takers? Okay. So that's what I think needs to go. Well, here we go. Here's our little buddy. While we're at it, let's hear this little fucking fat piece of shit again.
But I'm here for the kids down here because it's easy to talk about anti-Semitism on the left. I want to talk about the dark force rising on our side. Multiple speakers have talked about the rise of anti-Semitism on the right. But it is not enough to speak in platitudes or generalities about the fight. We must call evil by its name. 5 years ago, if I was talking to my father, who's watching, hi Dad, if I was talking to my father at 8:59 p.m. at night, he would say, Randy, I gotta go. Tucker Carlson's gonna be on. But make no mistake, today, Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. He has chosen to take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth, to broadcast and feature those who celebrate the Nazis, those who call for the extermination of Israel, to defend Hamas, to even criticize President Trump for stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions. Friends, make no mistake, Tucker is not MAGA. Tucker's fall from grace has been one of the most extraordinary implosions in political history. And the rapidity of it has created real challenges for us all. Because our friends don't have our shared experience. I even deal with this with my colleagues in the House. See,
I'm just reasonable. You know, they just don't understand. They don't understand. He's not MAGA. He's not MIGA, you mean, my MIGA.
they remember the Tucker of 5 years ago. They don't live with anti-Semitism every day. They don't think about it the way that we do. And it's jarring.
I'm telling you, it's people like you, Randy, not so fine, you fucking fat ass, that are making people anti-Semitic. You are making people anti-Semitic. You need to stop trying to tell people what to do. Stop trying to shut us down. Stop trying to put us in jail. Stop trying to take down our number one thought leaders, and shut the fuck up.
For them to try to understand, how did this person become who he is today? But the challenge is he's inspired a movement of hate in our
people
midst.
like you.
And I'm not
That's
done
how.
calling people
That's
out.
why. Yeah. So the reason why people are becoming anti-Semitic, it's just a vacuum. It's just a coincidence. I don't know what's happening with my camera here. Crazy. Weird. Yeah. So I'm just gonna, I don't know why my camera just blurred out. That's weird. Not sure. Not sure what's up with that. I'm going to check my camera settings here real quick and see if there's something on there. That's a little clearer. Maybe I just... I don't know what happened. Anyway, that's reasonable. I have to lower down the fidelity. Maybe the internet connection got messed up. Yeah, this is not good, guys. This is a bad move. You really want to take on the entire American people? You really want to take on the grandmothers? I mean, you're going to turn grandmothers into anti-Semites now. People, old ass motherfuckers, love Tucker Carlson. Okay? And you're going to now say, if you like Tucker, you're Hitler. That is not going to go over well, guy. Okay, guy? Okay, buddy? That is not a winning strategy. You are causing more anti-Semitism. Randy Fine is probably the number one guy, but well, actually, Benjamin Netanyahu is, he's the guy. But then you see over here, this is actually kind of interesting. Did Tucker get the call? Because he is kind of bowing here, before he's like, yeah, like how can there be,
but I just want to say,
how can there be a Christian, the Judeo-Christian, it's always Judeo-Christian. So the people that believe that Jesus is rotting in hell, the people that believe that he was a scumbag magician that hung out with whores, the people that believe that Christians are idol worshiping animals, they're our buddies. Now I could be friends with them, but when they try and start saying you have to believe in our religion, but they by definition don't believe in our religion. They don't believe in Christianity at all. They think people are completely fooled morons, that he's basically just an idol worshiping scumbag. Jesus. Okay, sorry for that. I didn't say that. They said that. So they can completely denounce the Christian God. They can completely denounce Jesus as a person. They can completely denounce Mother Mary. Completely denounce the whole thing top to bottom. But if you denounce them, then, oh no, but we're supposed to be Judeo-Christian. And meanwhile, they're bombing churches all the time. They're bombing these ancient churches. I mean, I am no big fan of the Muslim invasion either, guys. I don't want to vote for Mondami, but it's like the best you can do is Cuomo. Really? The murdering scumbag who killed all those people in the fucking old age home? This is what we're dealing with now? You either get a Muslim commie or a fucking murdering scumbag. I honestly don't know which one's better. Right? I don't know. I know Cuomo should be in jail for what he did during COVID, so he shouldn't even be on the books. Right? A communist Muslim? No, thank you. New York, can you do a little better? I mean, I'd rather have fucking AOC in there at this point in the game. What the hell are you guys doing? Fucking lost your mind? Rank choice voting. That's what does this. They've got it in Canada. You see what goes on there. You see what goes on in Seattle. I was looking it up yesterday. That's how these guys get in. Rank choice voting. I'm not exactly sure how they do it, but wherever they get rank choice voting in, this is what happens. And they've got it in New York. And so did Tucker get the call because he was like, yeah, Judeo-Christians make me sick, because it's like, it's not, how can it be a Judeo-Christian religion when the Judeos think your God is a piece of crap and that he's burning in hell? Does that sound like someone who is like following your same values? I don't think so. And so why is it that Muslim countries have churches that are thousands of years old? Like I say, I'm no fan of the Muslims. I'm really not. I don't want the invasion here. I think they need to be expelled from England on a large amount. Some of the people that have been there for a long period of time, maybe, but I don't think it's not good that England's turning into like an Allah Akbar. Like every 5 minutes, the call to prayer is going to shut down London. They vote as a block. So we're over here arguing over which guy we want in. They go, he's a Muslim. He's going in. This is our guy. We vote and they vote. across the board, all of them vote. And so they take over all the politicians, all the politics, all the political positions now. Right? So I'm not a fan of the Muslims either, who are supposedly Semites too. We got two kinds of Semites. I mean, everyone calls it anti-Semites. Well, let's, just stick to why group one to the other or away from the other. So, yeah, it's like, why do you have to be either a fan of the Jews or a fan of the Muslims? Can't you just be like, hey, I want both of them out of our fucking politics in our country? Just stay the fuck out of it. Certainly stay the fuck out of our politics. And don't start trying to shut down our cities with your call to prayer. Trying to boss people around, tell kids they can't bring fucking bacon to school. That's what they do. So now they're bossing us around. We're like, oh, you can wear your hijab. They're like, yeah, it's fine. Don't bring bacon to fucking school, or you're a hate crime. So Tucker, it seems to be backing down here. All of a sudden now he's like, oh no, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean. This is funny because I was hoping he would just stand strong and just say, fuck you, and like, I'm not going to back down, and just say, look, regardless of what I said, I'm not backing down, because you know how it goes. Once you back down, they just get worse and worse and worse. And so if Tucker backs down, then it basically is a loss. So he couches his back down here. But let's see what you think about what Tucker says. I feel like he's backing down. I feel like he's gotten pressure and he's walking it back. Is that what Charlie Kirk failed to do when he got the pressure? When Charlie Kirk says, I can no longer support the Israel stance. They're like, look, man. And he's like, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Oh, you can't do it, huh? Okay. And they were talking about, don't forget, neutralizing, Tucker. Neutralizing. That is military terminology for kill. Okay. I have a friend. He ended up getting in a fight. He had a knife on him. He ended up having to attack the guy, fight him off. And he stabbed the guy. Guy ended up bleeding out to death. When he was on the stand, he's like, I neutralized the enemy. And all the cops were like, oh, neutralize. Okay, neutralize. Yeah. They got it. They know he had to neutralize the enemy. He ended up walking. So you want Tucker neutralized? You want all of our top people neutralized? Is that what you want? Because it's not going to end good. This is not going to end good, people. Go back to this one here. I want to go back down to Tucker Carlson. Anyway, this shit's so annoying, man. I don't want to deal with it. We've got our own fucking problems, man. Stop fucking getting in our way. So here's Tucker.
Saying that I didn't fully mean. I said it because I was mad, which is always when I say I don't. But I just want to say at the outset, because this has been weighing on me, I did say something that I really regret saying that I didn't fully mean. I said it because I was mad, which is always when I say I don't really mean. When I get pissed, my wife's always telling me this. I was snippy and I didn't explain it. And I said something to the effect of, I despise Christian Zionists. And I'm just sorry that I said that, because I don't. I'm mad at a certain kind of thinking. Some of the nicest people I know are Christian Zionists, actually. You know, if you're in a car crash, they would save you. If you need someone to watch your bank account, they wouldn't steal from you. They're like really good people and sweet people. I want to be very specific quickly about what I was talking about. In at least a couple of different occasions, the Israeli government bombed churches in Gaza and killed a bunch of Christians. And not an accident, of course. I mean, this is like a very high-tech military with precision. I mean, they, gave pagers with bombs in them to Hezbollah. So like this is a military, the National Defense Institution that understands what it's doing. They didn't accidentally bomb 2 churches and kill these Christians, and they never apologized for it. And so I brought this up with a couple of Christian leaders, and including the Speaker of the House, and said, like, what
can you imagine if we bombed a mosque or bombed a synagogue and didn't apologize? And supposedly by accident. I mean, if you did it on purpose, like, yeah, we bombed your mosque, but a synagogue and no apology. Yeah.
We're paying to bomb churches because we're paying for it.
And like I'm saying, so they have these ancient churches that are perfectly untouched with all of these so-called completely whacked out people that would cut your head off. Why would they allow a perfectly preserved church to be in Gaza, only for the Jews to come along and then bomb it? It's been there for thousands of years, 1,500 years. Perfect frescoes, not one little rocket launcher, not one little explosion, not one little Allah Akbar, like all the old frescoes, all the old statues, all the old stained glass. It's all there. Perfect condition. And then now it gets bombed. Why? I thought they hated us with so much passion. I mean, you would think they would at least get rid of this godforsaken church that was right there. Why didn't they? Why are there these churches in Muslim countries? Why did they allow it? Why? And why does Israel then come along and bomb them? And then why do they not even apologize when it's supposedly an accident?
Response I got from every single one was the Bible commands us to support Israel. And I said, so Jesus is telling us that we need to get on board with murdering Christians? Is that what you're saying? And they basically were just like, shut up. And I found that extremely, as a Christian, extremely upsetting. And I've never kind of gotten over that. But I should have said that. That's what I was talking about specifically. We cannot support the murder of innocents. I don't care what the pretext is. That is not allowed in our religion. And if it is, then it's not my religion. That's not what the New Testament says at all. It's not even a close approximation of what it says. There's no justification for that in the New Testament, period. So I am distressed. I don't hate. I shouldn't have said despise, but I'm very distressed about that. And that's specifically what I was talking about. So I just want to apologize sincerely for not being clear.
All right. Well, all I know is it's all fun and games apologizing, but it never goes well when you apologize. They smell blood. Even if you did make that mistake, Tucker, you're smart enough to know you don't apologize. They're just going to take it as weakness, and they're going to come for you even more. They're not going to accept this as a little back down. It's not going to happen. Okay. All right, let's get off of it. I can't fucking deal with this bullshit. So Riley Gaines, if we saw this boldness like back in 2020, this insanity would have never been allowed to fester like it has. God bless you for speaking up the truth at Listen to Tish. So apparently Listen to Tish is in this this gym, and she's in there with some dudes, and they have giant cocks, and they're flopping around, and she's supposed to get naked in the gym, and she gets pissed, and they revoke her gym membership. I don't know if you saw this clip, but this lady,
gym, men, grown men with big dicks in the women's locker room, and that's why I'm getting kicked out. And I want to make sure the girls know. The fuck? Everybody saw that man in the fucking locker room. No one's saying shit, and I'm fucking done with it. It's fucking stupid. It's dangerous. Me naked in front of a man without my permission. But I ain't the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all. I'm terminated for not wanting men in the locker room. And that goes gym. Men, grown men with big dicks in the women's locker room.
Grown men with
and
big
that's
dicks.
Why I'm getting.
And that's a black lady saying that. So these must be some pretty big dicks. How big is this? He's like, it's big dicks. So she kind of sounds like DMX a little bit. I'm watching this. I'm wondering if Andre Antunes, the guy that did my Hail Fauci video, if he's done a breakdown on this. Can somebody turn this into a rap jam? Big man with big dicks in the girls' locker room. Big dicks. Big dicks. I mean, I don't know. She's got a rap voice. She sounds like DMX. Maybe we could put like a DMX beat over it, and then somebody could edit this up. Get to it, man, because you know how it goes. If you don't get on this quick, I bet you there's a remix of that out there. I'm gonna find it. One of the I'll play it next time if I find it. I have a feeling Andre has done something with that. Actually, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Let me see if there is. I'm gonna play a little clip in the meantime. Let's see here. I gotta know. Tucker Carlson. There he is. You just can't escape it. You know, as much as I'm like anti this transhumanist stuff, this is pretty dope right here. Engineer Ian Davis created his own mechanical prosthetic when his insurance wouldn't cover it. it works without needing batteries or electricity. Like, that is so fucking amazing. Look at that. He managed to make it like to where he can actually control the individual fingers. Like, not, look at that. With no robot, no Neuralink, without drilling a hole in his skull. This is fucking amazing. Have you guys seen this? It's amazing.
That's all done off of a gimbal off of the wrist. Just lateral motion. And then forward and reverse motion is how I open and close it.
That is amazing. Wow.
So,
Elon, apparently,
last
I
week I was
shouldn't
able to
give him
move
any
my hand
ideas
open and
because I've been
close.
saying apparently.
Now I'm able to
Apparently, they're saying they're 10 years away from getting a human hand level. They're having the biggest problem. The humanoid robots, they've got the brains going, they're getting the walking down, but the physical dexterity of the human hand is so amazing that they can't do it with all their trillions of dollars. It's going to take them 10 more years with all the AI and all the new science and all the materials and trillions of dollars. They still can't do this. And think about that. Think about the fact that the robot hands that they're making, they actually have the blueprint right here. Exactly how to grab and make. Imagine if you were saying, how can I manipulate and grab and move things in the most amazing way? And you had to come up with it off the top of your head with no blueprint. And every new idea they come up with, even Elon comes out, he's like, it turns out there's a reason why this finger is shorter. There's a reason why the thumb's placed like this. They keep on going, let's put it like this. Let's put it like that. Let's switch it up. Let's make these longer. How about we have 10 fingers? How about 5 fingers? How about 4 fingers? How about 3 fingers? And they're finding out that this is literally the perfect design. And not only that, trying to put little actuators in the hands is like, that's not working either. They have to put the actuators down here because it doesn't have the dexterity. So again, that's why the forearm is designed the way it is, because it has all of the muscles in it so that you can have the nimble, skinny fingers, perfectly designed by God. So there you go. 10 years they're saying until they have that. So they'll be able to hack into your computer. They'll be able to shoot you in the head. They'll be able to drone strike you, but they won't be able to manipulate the finest things. They can do surgeries because they just have to operate scalpels and different things like this. And maybe they have sewing machines. But when it comes to the total omnipotent, omnipositional human hand, they just can't do it. What's this guy going on about? Oh, yeah. This is interesting. Speaking of AI, nice segue. I didn't plan this, but this is good. So, talking about,
I almost feel like the term woke AI.
The Terminator. Basically, David Sachs says the biggest risk of AI was described not by James Cameron in the Terminator, but by George Orwell in 1984. I almost feel like the term woke AI is insufficient to explain what's going on because it somehow trivializes it. What we're really talking about is Orwellian AI. We're talking about AI that lies to you, that distorts an answer, that rewrites history in real time to serve a current political agenda or the people who are in power. To me, this is the biggest risk. And even Grok does it too, guys. Grok does it too. You can ask it certain questions and it'll be like, oh no, that's really, the vaccines really are safe and effective. Oh, well, it doesn't really say this in the Talmud. Oh, well, it says a lot. Like I was talking about Mandami and the commies running for New York. I was like, oh, come on now. Let's not go too far. These guys are far from communists. They're a grassroots organization, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, what are you talking? Like, really not based.
I almost feel like the term woke AI is insufficient to explain what's going on because it somehow trivializes it. I mean, what we're really talking about is Orwellian AI. We're talking about AI that that lies to you, that distorts an answer, that rewrites history in real time to serve a current political agenda of the people who are in power. I mean, it's very Orwellian. And we were definitely on that path before President Trump's election. It was part of the BINEO. We saw it happen, in the release of that first Gemini model. That was not an accident. Those distorted outputs came from somewhere. To me, this is the biggest risk of AI. Actually, it was not described by James Cameron. It was described by George Orwell. It's in my view, it's not the Terminator. It's 1984 that that as AI eats the internet and becomes the main way that we interact and get our information online, that it'll be used by the people in power to control the information we receive, that it'll contain an ideological bias, that essentially it'll censor us. All that trust and safety apparatus that was created for social media will be ported over to this new world of AI. And then on top of that, you've got the surveillance issues where, AI is going to know everything about you. It's going to be your kind of personal assistant. And so it's kind of the perfect tool for the government to monitor and control you. And to me, that is by far the biggest risk of AI. And that's the thing we should be working towards preventing. And the problem is a lot of these regulations that are being whipped up by these fear-mongering techniques, they're actually empowering the government to engage in this type of control that I think we should all be very afraid of, actually.
And where's the largest push of that control coming from, and about what topic? Oh, guys, Dick Cheney. Oh, Dick Cheney. 84. He was so young. Dick Cheney was so young. Oh, it's so sad to see what has happened to him. Poor Dick. Poor Dick Cheney. So I thought I had saved the post, but apparently I missed it. But I thought it was one of the best takes on the Dick Cheney situation where, let's look at that evil bastard's face. I guess it's I don't think you can actually, there he is. So the most painful thing about Dick Cheney, the lying, murdering scumbag, millions of people died in fake wars over fake weapons of mass destruction. The Patriot Act. You're welcome. This scumbag making money for Halliburton. Okay. The most sad thing about it is that he never was tried for crimes against humanity. He was never tried for treason. He just died of old age. The only good thing is now he'll have to meet his maker. But he sure took his time. It's no joke when they say only the good die young, isn't it? Look at Charlie Kirk. Look at Bob Marley. Martin Luther King, JFK, RFK. And Dick Cheney lives to 84, the ripe old age. I was just looking at George Bush Jr. He was playing, he was like at some baseball game or some football game yesterday. And he looked totally out of his noodle, but he actually looked pretty young. He was looking pretty good. The adrenochrome must be back online. They've got the adrenochrome flowing. But yeah, we can't let these bastards, like if Fauci dies of old age without going to jail, that is an absolute miscarriage of justice. That means we have no justice in this world. These people have to be brought to justice before they die of old age. Where is the justice in this country? When will we see these scumbags arrested, jailed, and if necessary for the crimes against humanity, that the penalties are death? And if they get convicted of these crimes, Nuremberg Code violations, that they pay the penalties that they are due. But no, they all get off. They all walk. Nobody goes to jail. Hillary doesn't go to jail. Fauci doesn't go to jail. Brennan, all of these motherfuckers, they're not going to jail. It's all a song and dance. If anything actually happens with the DOJ actually putting someone in jail, one of these deep state players, and I do believe the deep state players, yeah. How's your popcorn doing, guys? How's that popcorn going for you? My popcorn is so stale. There is no Epstein files. Kash Patel, well, I can't believe they're flying around on these planes. They need to shut down those planes, and then we'll get the Epstein files. That's what he literally said. He said we need to shut down the private jet of the FBI director, and then we'll get the Epstein files. He's going to shut down the jet. Now he gets the jet. Now he's running around with his little chippy, and now he's covering up the Epstein files. It's like we live in a complete fuck you matrix. Every second, every day, it's fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You get nothing. We get everything. We get to do what we want. Get it? Get it? Nothing's ever going to happen to us. Get it? Look at Gavin Newsom. This motherfucker is still walking around after what happened with all the money from the fucking rail. Where'd that money go, Gavin? What about all the people that died in the fires? You had plans to build your fucking city. You haven't done anything to bring it back. And now you're trying to gerrymander the entire state. Have you seen what they're going to do with these gerrymanderings? You got to vote no on Prop 50. No on Prop 50. They're literally taking beach towns that with high density and stretching them all the way to inland California, to rural farm areas, so they can outvote the individual towns out there. These people are going to lose total representation. They want to talk about their farm or their water rights or anything. Oh, no. We've got a gay promenade we got to build over here by the beach. We don't have the money for that. They're going to be completely left behind. These places that are in these districts, these newly drawn districts, they're going to be totally outvoted. They're going to be without representation. They're gerrymandering the entire fucking state. It's absolutely out of control. And Gavin Newsom's just walking around smiling. We got our local Todd Glory hole right here. Little communist mayor. We're 300 million in the hole. He's got 30 million to spend on his gay pride promenade. But meanwhile, he's got to shut down parks and charge people to go to the local parks, charge people to go to the beach, charge people for trash, charge people for this, make new parking rules and shut down everybody, shut down libraries, shut down fire pits. But he's got 30 million for a tenth of the entire budget shortfall for a gay pride promenade. And he's still walking around. He's doing fine. He's still getting elected. Right? And it's not just California, because everyone's like, that's what you voted for. I love when people say, oh, California, that's what you voted for. Like, newsflash, I didn't vote for it. Okay? That's the same as saying you voted for Biden. When Biden was in office, because Biden was controlling America, well, you voted for Biden. Well, you voted for Biden. No, I didn't vote for Biden. You voted for Biden. Where's the logic in that when people say people who live in California vote? Well, you voted for it. No, I didn't vote for it. And I honestly don't think a lot of people vote for it. I think they've had this place sewn up for a long time. And when they stole the election in the country, what happened? Did the people rise up with their Second Amendment and take over the country? No, they had a little protest. It got shut down. Everybody went to jail and everybody shut their mouths. So don't tell me you would do something about it because it's Texas. No, you wouldn't. You didn't. So if they've been stealing our elections here in California for time immemorial and they have the entire thing rigged up, you expect California should rise up. We wouldn't take that here in Montana. Oh, well, once you get those motherfuckers in and they start controlling your systems and they start controlling your vote tallies and they start controlling the districts and they start controlling who can vote and who can't and live and dead and sending mail-in ballots and getting these fucking ranked choice voting in, good luck. Okay, New York's tough. New York, yeah, we're New York. We're tough guys, yeah? How's New York doing for you now? New York has been shafted and fucked. Look at all those New York tough guys. Did they do anything to take their city back? No. All right? So don't tell me I voted for it. Okay, I didn't vote for this shit. I don't think a lot of people voted for it. I think it's been stolen here like it is everywhere else. And it's a cancer that's growing. And when you keep blaming other people because they're not doing anything about it, when it happens in your state, you don't do anything about it. When it happened in the country, no one fucking did anything about it except for the people on January 6th who then stood down. Nobody did anything over the coronavirus. There was no militia stood up and took the country back. Tough guys, right? Well, we wouldn't let that happen here. Okay. How'd that work out for you? Okay. So anyway, voting time. Make sure you get out there and vote today. I'll be putting out a voting flyer. I wonder if I got it already. Let me check here. Anyway, I'll post it up. Sean Fredrickson is a good local dude. He got a group of people that check all the local ballot initiatives and everything. If there's any money needed for it, just vote no. You know, if it's not something that's going to specifically give you more rights, vote no. Just vote no on everything. All they ever do, all they ever create is things to fuck you. Well, get some more money from the parking meters, vote no. We need more money for the trash, vote no. More money for this, more money for that, no. They need to use the money that we gave them. They need to cut their budgets. They need to stop hiring their friends and giving these contracts to their homies who pay for their political campaign financing. That's why here in San Diego, we're supposed to have height limits, but they want to get rid of the height limits so that they can charge more property tax and have more money to grift off of, so that they can sell the properties that were valued for a 3-story property and then build a 20-story complex on top of it and have their homies make the profit off of it because they buy it at $1 million and end up making it a $20 million property, destroying the skyline, destroying the vibes of the beach towns. And they're doing it. You know, we showed up 208 to 4 people in opposition to the parking meters going in the Balboa Park, 100-year-old park. It was built, beautiful park. It's been free for the people the whole time. But no, they just went against the people. They just do whatever they want. And did anybody do anything about it? No. And so now they're just emboldened. They're just going to do whatever they want all the time now. Anyway, Black Pill, fucking Dick Cheney. We got to get some accountability. When are people going to actually pay? There's a big club and we ain't in it. And isn't that a fact? Isn't that a fact? There's Homegirl. Oh, yeah. And in case you didn't see, talking of hypocrisy, here we go. The United Nations Climate Conference, COP30 in Brazil, begins in less than 2 weeks. Tens of thousands of acres of protected Amazon rainforest were felled earlier this year to build a 4-lane highway to alleviate congestion. There is no, how could there be congestion? It's a forest. But so they're going to build this giant fucking thing through the rainforest, which has been decimated as we speak. And they're doing that so that they can have their climate summit. Look at that. Power lines so they can have their little climate event over here. Why can't they have the climate event on the edge of the forest? Does it have to be in the center of the forest? It's so that they can go in there and make contracts so that they say, oh, well, this area you're allowed drill. This area, they just want to be the gatekeepers to own all those fucking resources. That's what's going on. They're building a fucking empire in the center of that, one of the world's greatest resources, so that they can control it, so that they can constrict it, so that they can be the gatekeepers, so that they can mow down the entire rainforest here, so that they can save the rainforest. Don't you see? I guess there's no audio with that one. Sam Parker did a great, this is on my timeline. She's pretty decent honeypot. I mean, in the face, she's definitely Israeli looking, but yeah, she's a pretty nice little honeypot there. Actually, her music isn't that bad. I did go and check out her music. It's not great, but it's also not horrible. I mean, if it had a backing, I'm sure it would be almost as popular as anything else. You know, if Beyonce can have the number one the number one country album in the country, then, you know, why not? Why not Cash Patel's honey pot wife? Oh, look at this. This is great. Check this one out. The 1X Neo is one of the first humanoid robots built for your home, and it's equipped with full AI software. But a company representative might need to peer into your home via Neo's camera eyes to help you get things done. So it's like Elon, he has these big robot festivals and he's like, yeah, the robots are crazy. But then he's using telepresence where there's actually people looking through the cameras and they're actually moving the things instead of the robot itself. So if the robot's struggling, you'll get a guy in India who can look inside your house, or a guy in the FBI or CIA can look inside your house and help control the robot. What could possibly go wrong? Let's have a look at this.
It's here, the first humanoid robot housekeeper.
Thank you, Neo.
For $20,000, you can pre-order 1X's Neo robot now, with delivery in 2026.
I think you missed a tiny spot over here.
Just one little catch. There may be a human behind the curtain, pulling the robot strings.
If I throw up, will the robot throw up?
A company representative may need to peer into your house via Neo's camera eyes to get things done.
To many people, this is crazy.
You have to be okay with this for the product to be useful.
We're twinning now, Neo.
You have to be okay with this.
1X is taking on home robotics' biggest challenges, creating a safe body and a smart brain. Its fabric-covered body lets Neo try to do a lot of things humans do around the house. Emphasis on try.
You got this, Neo. You got it.
My challenge, load 3 items in the dishwasher. And that took 5 minutes. The challenge isn't just Neo's body, it's also its brain. It needs to know how to perform tasks on its own, without human help. But right now, everything I saw Neo do was guided by a skilled teleoperator in a VR headset. This is how Neo learns. The videos of the robot doing household work via teleoperation become the training data to make the AI model smarter. That's why 1X is putting Neo in the homes of early adopters.
I think it's quite important for me to just say that in 2026, if you buy this product, it is because you're okay with that social contract. If we don't have your data, we can't make the product better.
The next few years isn't about owning a super useful robot. It's about raising one. But at least this robot can have lots of fun.
No, like this. 6, 7, 6, 7.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's here, the first humanoid robot.
So yeah, it's a brave new world. Who would have thought that we'd actually be here in our lifetimes and the speed of time? Oh, here's another one right on the same thing. This is crazy. And who would have thought? So keep in mind, think about this. People complain about cameras everywhere. They're like, they're cameras, the police state. It's like China. And we'll actually go to these board meetings and be like, can we not have cameras? Most times they say, fuck you, we're putting the cameras up anyway. Other times they say, no, well, we're just going to put these light poles up and we're actually not going to use the cameras. They're not going to be used right away. And so then later on, once the poles are installed with the cameras, there's a car break-in and they're like, why aren't we using these cameras? We should use the cameras. And then they go, yeah, let's use them, because they're no longer installing the pole. And they tell the people, hey, we already have these. Why don't we just use them? And so they slowly, as David Icke says, totalitarian tiptoe their way into your asshole. Now, Elon Musk is just claiming he just came up with this, right? So to train the cars, every single camera on every single Tesla is going back to the mainframe, Colossus computer, which funnily enough is the name of the original computer that took over the military back in the 70s. There was a movie called Colossus, and it was about a AI computer that took over the military and basically held the world ransom. So he, to be funny, has called his AI supercomputer Colossus. And Colossus is getting all of the data from all of the Tesla cameras everywhere. And AI, if you know, can study and understand any pattern. So without even knowing who I am or what I am or being asked to look for me, you could, I guarantee without a filter on, show a picture of me and say, Colossus, where is Matt Baker? and say, oh, one of our car 77576 drove by him on so and so street. We saw him get into his car, blah, blah, blah here. That car drove past this other car. It was in the Home Depot parking lot, seen by this other car. And it will have pictures of me walking around everywhere. Total surveillance system. And the AI knows exactly where you are at all times. And so now Elon is saying that there's an individual AI chip in each car. And what he wants to do is, instead of having, and I've been actually calling for decentralized AI, but still centralized because it's all through Elon. So he's going to use the individual computation power of the individual AI chips that he's putting in each car and the individual power that he's sucking out of your individual wall outlet to do the individual computation. He's basically creating a giant hive mind with all Tesla cars attached to his AI, which might become sentient and, in his own words, has a 20% chance of killing all humanity in the next 5 years. Okay? Could anything go wrong? Elon Musk came up with a pretty incredible idea during the Q3 earnings call. He just came up with it. Yeah. That no one is really thinking about it. His words, actually, one thing I thought is that we could use all of the cars that are maybe bored. His cars are bored. They're sitting around bored. While they're sort of and they are bored, we could actually have a giant distributed interference fleet and say, if we're not actually driving, let's just have a giant distributed inference. I guess inference is a form of AI. Inference fleet. At some point, you might get tens of millions of cars in the fleet. Maybe at some point, 100 million cars in the fleet. And it would say at that point, I don't know, a kilowatt of inference capability, of high performance inference capability. That's 100 gigawatts of inference distributed power and cooling and the cooling. So anyway, it cools itself. It's powered by itself. So basically, each car, kilowatts of high performance AI inference capability. Tesla wouldn't need to build giant data centers. So now he's saying he doesn't need to build giant data centers because your car that you bought and paid for is now his hive mind that is tracking and watching everything all the time, everywhere, and can drive into your house if it gets taken over by a hacker or by a sentient AI. Tesla could turn their entire fleet into a giant distributed inference network spread across the world, powered by batteries and AI that the car already has and you paid for. And Elon gets the compute, and he gets to use all of your data and all of your information too. And it'd be one thing if it was used nicely and it was actually spit out back to us properly. But then, like this other video just said, it ends up 1984ing it and telling you what it wants you to know and controlling what you watch and what you see and where you go. And in the future, it's going to control the cars too. Yay. This is a crazy video. I got to get to work. I'm already late. But anyway, that's what we got for today. Got a whole lot. Yeah, this is the current algorithm. I have 167,000 followers. I will post something on a brand new trending topic and get 0 comments. I am the most fucked person on this platform. I'm the most throttled. I am the most destroyed. So in the future, and now I got to make a little jingle or something like, in the future, now and forever, please comment because the algorithm likes it. Please share it because other people will get to see it. And I'm not just talking into a well that no one can hear. It gives me a reason to come back here and provide more of these videos with a little bit of a different slant than I think a lot of people have. Some of it's the same, but I do have my own flavor, and throw a little comedy in there too. So yeah, here's the current algorithm. There's Laura. And then last year's algorithm. Oh, I miss her so much. Anyway, I got to get rolling. I got to go to work. I got to do this drywall situation. So if you guys want to financially support me, you can leave me. I think I've got a money link up the top of my page, or you can subscribe. I think it's like $4 a month or something. I really appreciate the people that do that. Soon I'm going to have a show where I can, if you're a subscriber, you can come on anytime you want and we'll have a talk. So appreciate you all. Didn't plan for today's show. I just ended up getting a late call that I wasn't going to be going to work for an hour or so. So I thought I'd come out here and kind of catch up with this Israeli so-called civil war. It's not a civil war. It's Israel trying to control our country. And as they're being called out, they're getting more and more out of control, which is causing more and more backlash, which is causing them to get more and more out of control. And I just hope cooler heads prevail, guys, because like I told Adam, it's either going to end up in a Nazi police state or a Jewish AI police state, or a combination of the two. But either way, it's going to suck. So can we not wind each other up to the point that we have to have crackdowns of one side or another, telling the other side to shut the fuck up? I'm going to roll you guys out with the new song that my buddy made for me. And it is going to go like this. I appreciate y'all. Let's hear it. No, that's why.
Came from Ocean Beach where the waves still preach. Now he speaks on the steps, freedom within reach. City council shook when he let that roar. Y'all on notice, echo through the chamber floor. Locked down the coast, but his spirit ain't chained. Truth in his veins, liberty in his brain. No muzzle, no jab, no corporate leash. He baptized rebellion in the surf and the beach. Mask off, Viking beard, truth be the sword. Cut through lies of the media horde. From the sand to the streets, microphone ignite. Baker brought daylight into technocrat night. Slave to liberty stitched on his chest. Freedom's his fashion, he ain't dressed to impress. From San Diego, sparks flew to the nation. Viral vibration, righteous indignation. Infowars to O'Hen in rotation. They call him crazy, he calls it salvation. White rabbit tunnels and digital chains. He exposed CBDCs in the global domain. Transhuman plots, he decoded the scheme. In a world of machines, he's still human supreme. Monster vax on Halloween night. Gates and Fauci in the lyrical fight. From Ocean Beach sun to the Arizona heat. He marched with the people, boots on concrete. American Liberty Awards in his hand. Saluting freedom fighters across the land. He ain't a hashtag, he a thunderous creed. A lion of the coast sowing sovereign seed. Now the Cali Viking rides with a purpose. Truth so raw, it cut through the circus. From Pfizer gates to the protest stage. He rips through lies like a righteous rage. Artist, activist, rebel, and scribe. Painting revolution with a fearless vibe. Camera ring in hand, he confronts deceit. With courage that corporate news can't repeat. Surfboard soldier, storm of the west. He carried that banner like a bulletproof vest. From laughter to lectures to liberty songs. He proved one voice can't right the wrongs. They tried to cancel, but he amplifies. The Viking still roars while the empire dies. Matt Baker's name in the winds of time. Freedom eternal, that's the paradigm.